Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. It's hot. It's gonna be in the upper 80s Fahrenheit for at least the next week. So I guess that's around like 30 centigrade, maybe 31 or so. But it's pretty hot. And it's not even midday yet. But I definitely want to go for a nice quality run tomorrow morning before dawn. And the sun just really just takes it out of me. It makes everything just more difficult. So, and with thinking that I wanted to go out tomorrow morning, I was like, wow, I was already out, and I was like, but I didn't have to just, I didn't have to destroy myself. I just decided to just go ahead and just, I did a solid, half hour, which was out my different way, and out to the end of Stellar Lane or Road or Avenue, all the way on the other side of town, underneath the highway and out past the park. And the disc golf course, the luxuries of, I guess, the middle class. But the park is really well kept. It's impressive how much time, thought, energy must go into it to keep it as nice as it is. It's very clean, and I don't know like how they keep it that clean, or if just people take care of it, but it's pretty impressive. There's not even like, as I go past, I'm looking, and I don't like see like wrappers or cans or bottles or even like cigarette butts. I'm not even really, I'm looking specifically for them because I'm, running past. But when I do look, I just kind of take a stock inventory. It's like, yeah, I don't really see anything, on that side. But then when I'm coming back, on this side, there's little odds and ends, things here and there, nothing outrageous, but every little bit is outrageous, that it couldn't be, thoughtlessness and carelessness and inconsiderateness and insensitivity and just humanity. Yeah. I'm not liking the news that I've been catching as far as world news and politics, and I don't know what it means. It's pretty scary. It's like, oh good, it's like, I know I have nothing to do with it, and I can't. It's like how many ends of the world do I get to live through during my lifetime? Can it be the end of the world tomorrow? Why does, it's the end of the world every day, and it's just about panic and chaos and strife and whose fault and who's to blame, and responsibility and obligation and commitment, and everything's burning, and the air is bad, the water's bad, planets falling out of orbit, the gravity's about to turn off, the sun's going out, and the universe is going to implode and fall into a giant, massive black hole. And all of reality is donut-shaped. And then there's the multiverse. Yeah. It's a lot. It really is. It's a lot to trouble myself over and worry over things that, the fret and concern. I can only handle little things. Luckily for me, the little things are within my power to actually look at, be aware of, try to be conscious of, and do my part. And maybe that's enough, because nothing is ever enough. Because as soon as you get done something, there's always more. So it's like there's a balance in there somewhere which I have not found. There's just always more and more people needing, wanting, and it can never be explained, and there aren't words, because and feelings and thoughts are, unless you're doing what other people want you to do for them, then somehow it's wrong. You're obviously doing something wrong, or being wrong, or thinking wrong, or working wrong, if you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. Because if you would do what I was telling you to do, then we'd be fine. But obviously, since you're not doing what I want you to do, then you're wrong. Or you're doing something wrong, or it's like you're acting wrong, you're being wrong, and it's like, I can't explain myself, so I don't try. I don't think it's my job to explain myself. I was told by somebody that it's not. I didn't have to explain myself, and that was news to me. I just naturally assumed that I had to explain myself, and if I didn't have a good reason, then I was wrong. That's what I thought. That if I wasn't able to prove to somebody like a logical, good reason for how it is I am and why it is the way then obviously I'm just, bad or wrong or being dumb or using my time incorrectly. And, it's like they have every right to be angry with me or not. It's like I should do what they want me to do. Obviously they're right. They know what they're doing. They know better than I do. They know what I should be doing. Because what do I know? I can't even justify or give reason to why I do what I do. And when even I present what I think is a good argument or reason, it's like, oh, well, I'm just wrong. And I should want also. I should want to be doing what they want me to do for them. And if I don't want to, well, I'm just not trying hard enough. I'm not caring the right way. I'm not being the right way. And it's like, I really can only be asked to do the things and be the things and say the things that I was already going to have said and done anyway. I will not be tricked. Well, I can be tricked. But I want to be moved, compelled, drawn, won over, persuaded, not bullied. I feel a lot of my recovery has been just another form of bullying, to adopt beliefs that are not my own, practices that are not mine, rituals that are not mine, and I just played along, and because I didn't want to get yelled at, and I didn't want people to think less of me, and because I felt they already did. And so I learned to pretend. I learned to play along. I learned the rules of the game, and how to talk, how to act, how to think, recovery speak. And I thought about it today. It's like if I ever get really desperate, afraid, lonely, anxious, Um, it's like reinserting myself into the matrix. It's like I got out. I don't need to be going back in. And it's like I'm not even fully out. I'm still going to a couple meetings. I'll be going to one tonight. Treatment center meeting. Terra Treatment Center brings their people, or brings the clients, to the First Presbyterian Church over here on Water and Madison. And it's like 20, 25 guys, somewhere between day one and possibly as much as 90 days of recovery from whatever. And very, very rarely is it alcohol. Usually it's, other things. And it's like, I know nothing about other things. And I know nothing about, incarceration or prisons or jails or lawyers or anything like that. I only know my story. I only have the one story, and I'm glad for it. So, and that's the other thing about the truth. It's like I can't really tell. It's like so many people, it just seems like they want you to believe. They want to tell you what they think you want to hear. Did I say that right? So they're just learning the basics of recovery talk, and then parroting and talking and saying back things they've heard and saying what they think they're supposed to be saying in order to get good grades or look good on paper. So it looks good for whoever's pulling their strings or is in charge of them, their handler. Their lawyer or prosecutor or judge that's got their kids or their, or they're trying to get their wife back or their kids back, or just years, or maybe they're trying to get their years back because they've been sentenced to like 20 to 30 years in prison, and if they behave, they'll get like time off for good behavior because they went to treatment and stuff like that. So they're some desperate people that have some desperate situations, and and this might not be their first time. It's like, oh, the sixth time in treatment didn't work. The seventh time, it has a good chance because I sure do believe in this stuff now, and I'm working the steps. And it's like, oh my, and so it's like, I don't know, and who knows what I don't know what anybody else has been through and what it was like to be them and think like they do and go through what they, their life and background and history, and it's just all very overwhelming, and it is too much. It's just too many stories, too many people, too many problems, and it's just, and they're just looking around for anybody that seems like they know what they're doing, and they just want to latch on, and it's like, I got nothing. I can give you some pretty words, but the rest, it's like you gotta figure it out for yourself. So, anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I was very pleased yesterday. And I did read what I wrote, what I read yesterday, and I liked it a lot. I liked the style, the imagery, the way it spoke. I had to think about it a couple times to try to identify. I still don't understand, but to get some extraction, some depth of what I think it meant. which is totally going to be different, of course. But I still really appreciate the form. It's good. And I'm doing my best to remain anonymous, where hope is the vision and action is the intent. I'll have to read that again. But I have a really good imagination. Yeah. But anyway, I was very pleased yesterday. I did take Barbara down to the Tuesday night, and that went okay. But then on the way back, you know, I was talking a little bit about a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you know, she just mentioned, you know, her autistic sister, just out of, you know, just kind of out of nowhere. Doesn't come up off very much, but you know, and then she kind of made some comparisons, and it's like, yeah, and I didn't, you know, I didn't encourage it, and I didn't deny it. It's like it was something that she had to kind of, you know, figure out for herself and be okay with, because, you know, who she thought she knew was not me. That was me pretending. That was me representing and posturing and imitating and mimicking and being who I thought I needed to be for people, because that's, you know, how I'd always been. It's like always watching my environment and identifying who I need to be to get by, to not attract attention, to be liked well enough to be left alone, because I didn't want to, you know, I don't want to, you know, be on the wrong side of the wrong people. And, you know, I also don't want to, you know, and I would, yeah, I would ingratiate myself to people that I liked, or I thought were in charge or were cool, because, you know, survival, you know, in a hostile environment, which is, you know, everywhere, it's good to have allies, or at least people to, you know, kind of safety in numbers kind of thing. So anyway, I'm trying. I did that here too, and now I've separated, I've broken off. I started doing that about 2 years ago. I didn't know why, but it was just 2 years ago. It had to be done. The writing is there. The writing is safe. But very, very angry. Still slightly. And then that was the starting point. It's like, because I was like, oh, okay, well, because I was like convinced that I had to. I was like, I was no good on my own. It was like dangerous to go alone, because that's what they say. It's dangerous to go alone. And so slowly, just breaking, separating, and distancing. And it's not because I'm trying to prove something or anything. It's just that I cannot communicate, and I also cannot be myself. And if I cannot be myself and I cannot communicate, then what's the point? And it's like, because as soon as I try to start being myself, then people are, you know, well, that's not you. You aren't like that. And they want me to be like how they think I am. And it's like, and also I don't talk about the stuff they like to talk about. And I most of the time they're just talking about stuff that I just really don't care about or am not interested in. And no one does anything. They just stand around and talk. Or maybe they go out and play golf or go eat or something, but if they were doing something that I found more interesting, maybe, like, but people are just really just kind of, I don't know. I want to use certain words, but I won't, because I could be just as guilty or prone to that behavior. You know, I only have so much to give before I'm just done. As far as like socialization and being outside and being visible, all of it just takes energy. Whereas like just like doing this does not take energy. This is more releasing energy, letting it be captured. So it's just a way for me to practice my thinking, practice my feeling, practice my thoughts, which is pretty much what I used meetings for. And you know, was well received, well liked, and I'm still going to meetings and still doing the same thing, except I'm doing it differently now. And I realize that I'm discussing, you know, part of the preamble of Alcoholics Anonymous is, I don't have it memorized, but part of it is about how when discussing our problems, we discuss them in regards to the disease of alcoholism. I'm not doing that anymore, and I haven't done that in a while, it turns out. I discuss everything in terms of, I discuss my problems in regards of being autistic, how I have trouble comprehending, understanding, and being in the world as it is, as myself. When I was just drinking all the time, I didn't have to deal with anything. I mean, I did, but I was just numb to it and didn't care as long as I had enough to drink. I just didn't care about anything or myself. And I just wanted everything to be over. And, you know, I cared about my cat, but when she died, that was it. I had nothing left. That was my reason to be, that was my only reason to keep going. When she died, that was it. And as far as I was concerned, I was just done. So, anyway, so getting into recovery and finding a reason to live and to just keep doing stuff, and not knowing exactly why or the reasons, but still doing it anyway, and being okay about it. Not always happy. Well, you know, what does that even mean? And but being okay about that too. And I'm not a conditional sort where it's like, oh, if this doesn't work, well then, or if this, you know, not placing conditions on my reality, ultimatums on existence. You know, just being amendable and responsible, accountable. And I like it too, but I don't do it very cavalier. And because I've found that I've done that. I don't think I've done it too flippantly or fervently or frequently, but enough to where I have placed too much of myself in some people that really liked it, that I was so open and free, and I felt that it was not And then it became expected. It was like a, and then when I wasn't able to, to be there as much and to the same degree and level, then they started to get angry at me. And it's like, well, why is, what's wrong? It's like, I was getting tired. And I can't keep up that level of quality content, of being, and it's like, I'm not here to entertain. Maybe I am entertaining at times, but that's not my purpose and that's not my intent all the time. I do like to entertain sometimes, be a distraction in hard times. But when people start to expect it, and then have weird reactions, I don't know. It's just easier for me to just go, and that's the history of it. And it's like, not always. A lot of times it's the other people that just go. But there are a lot of times that I'm the one that just gets done, and it's time to go. And I miss some people, and I wonder how they're doing, but I just know that my time is just, it's just better to leave it as it is, as it was. So I'm thinking on specifics and generalizations, I guess, too, across a long time. And in recovery too, just letting go of recovery groups, whether it's online, forums, or Facebook groups, or meetings up in Indianapolis, or people up in Indianapolis, or meetings here. And I'm not done yet. I still have some more cutting. And it's not like I enjoy it, but it's a matter of life and death. And it's like I just am having a great difficulty of exposing myself to so many people and so many stories, because I just, it's a matter of just, it's too much. Because I just feel too much, sense too much, see too much, predict too much, and I don't like what I see, and it's just too sad. And it's like I can't save anybody, and I gotta learn. I mean, I can just share what I know, but it's up to them. They gotta learn to save themselves. And they gotta want to first, and I can't give them that. No one gave me that. It was a choice. I think I made the better choice, though I still remain undecided on that some days. But in general, I think I made the better choice. It's just hard. That's all. And I get tired and grumpy and frustrated and sad. But I keep going. And there's things that are good. I make little discoveries. But trying to figure out, what is for me, it's difficult. Because I've never done any of this before. This is all kind of new. This whole living thing. Living real, being honest, being authentic, trying desperately not to be who I think other people want me to be for them. I can be myself for everybody and let them come or go. I don't make that decision. So it's like, stay if you want, leave if you don't. So, I guess that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, because I follow the same rules. I wouldn't expect anybody else to not follow them. Not following my rules, follow their rules. Their own rules as they understand how the world operates. And because I don't know how the world operates myself. I just keep guessing at it. But I won't let somebody impose their rules on me. Not anymore. I'm tired of living by other people's rules, about how to be. And if I don't follow their rules on how to be, well, I'm just being wrong. No, I am being myself. I am being different from you. And that's not bad. That's not wrong. Just because it isn't you. Not everything's about you. It's like everything's not about me. So it's like, so there's a point where people are no longer helping. They think they're helping. They think they're doing good work, but it's not helping, and it is hurting. And the more that it just keeps hurting too, because they just keep insisting, and it's the guilt and shame and remorse and disrespect, and it becomes bullying, and that just makes me want to go away faster, go away farther, go away sooner. And so I'm working on it, going away faster, farther, sooner. And I do not believe I will introduce myself into recovery worlds again. It's been an experience. And I know what to do if I ever get into trouble again, but I hope to not. So that's the idea, at least. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, and I'll change my mind, which is probably true. I change my mind on stuff. But anyway, this is getting long, and I need to see about the business of life. But food for thought. It's always food for thought. Not that this ever goes anywhere, and it's just me talking in the mirror. But there's good thoughts. It helps me get some writing done, organize material, sifting and turning it over, rotating the soil, not letting it be compacted, hearing myself say the words. I do not know what it means. But I'm going to stick around and find out. So, there it is. Okay. That's it. Okay. Bye.